I took a lot of social classes my sophomore year, and I think a combination of maybe like all the teachers in the social department. I share a lot of the same views as them, and I think that overall they're just great teachers, and they really try to, especially with my major, I think the reason that I'm so compelled to like be a social work major is just because I go into a class every day and I love being there and I love learning about stuff like that. You know, social issues that are happening like in the world and things you can see like right outside your front door in the community, and I feel like it's something people don't really think about on a daily basis. So the fact that all the instructors like in this department, you know, that you can tell they feel passionate about what they're telling you, and that they, you know, and you can tell with their personal stories that they've, you know, worked to improve certain social conditions, and I think that's really awesome to see from them, is that they, you know, they can tell you about it, but the fact that they've actually been there and they enjoy what they're doing and they want to teach others to be helpful and involved in the community and care about other people is, I think that's a really great, you know, contribution that they're making to the school as like a whole, because they like inspire other people to go out and do good things for other people. So
when I was in high school, my friends kind of didn't want to go, so I was kind of with them, but I changed my thoughts on going to college a few times until my senior year came. I was originally going to go into aviation, but then it switched over to nursing after I started doing LNA work, and since then I just loved nursing, and I've always wanted to help people, so that's how I got into nursing. Being at Riviera really it's influenced me a little, because there's a couple of professors that really I think are cool. There are other kids that would probably say otherwise, but a few of them have really pushed me forward, because on my first exam I was worried I wasn't going to do good, and my professor, who had a PhD, comes out and says, I failed my first exam, and he has a PhD, so that he kind of influenced me, and there's more to just, if you fail once, you can still keep going and reaching your goals. I see myself as an orthopedic nurse that works with the bone, helping people with broken bones and bone deformities, and hopefully continuing my education on to being a nurse practitioner, which is equal to a physician.
My favorite class was chemistry. I didn't know that we had so much. Chemistry is so related to everything we have, everything that's around us, everything that we're touching, everything that we're feeling. Everything is chemistry. So I really enjoyed that class, and my teacher made it easy for me. The small classes and the way you would take time to explain to us, I really loved it.
College classes are a lot different than high school classes, first and foremost because you get to choose them. In high school it's a lot of, you know, you have to take a math, you have to take an English, you have to take your science every single semester, and for college it's, you know, once a year you get to choose one of those classes. They don't all have to be at the same time, and you're taking the classes that you really care about too during that time. For me, I think the most surprising class was a sociology class that I took. I was never really into like science and culture and all that sort of stuff, and it was really surprising to find how interesting it is, and it talks about all the different cultures and their social cues and all that sort of stuff, and that was really interesting for me. So I think that in college you get the experience of meeting a lot of different professors. So in community college especially, we have our adjunct professors, who are professors that are working in the fields that they're teaching in, and then we have our full-time professors, so people that are just teaching all day long. So you get those different dynamics, and that's really nice. I think one of my most interesting teachers was actually my architectural design teacher, and he is from India, and he, you know, has a very thick accent, and it's a lot of paying attention, but he's so smart and so funny, and was always there for me and everything, and especially being, again, a girl in a field that wasn't normal for women to be in. He was so supportive in everything that I did and learned, and those are classes that I'll never forget, even though I'm not going in that direction anymore.
On my campus, as far as like role model and such, I have to say almost everyone, staff and faculty I've met. I work very closely with Director of Clubs, Bill Bearsley. I call him the Reverend. He's adorable. And that man is so sweet and so nice, and I don't know. He's the representative of everyone on campus. All the staff, everyone I've met, they really care about you, and they want to see you succeed. And they're always like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, we saw you're having trouble with this. Do you need any help?" And I'm just like, "Oh, that's so cute." They've all they're not pushing me at all to like continue, but I want to continue seeing them. So I'm like, okay, I need to pass these classes in order to continue going to school and seeing them. So, and they always tell me like, hey, you should try out for this. I think I do really well in it, and I'll do it. And I'm like, oh wow, you're right, I do very good in this. So basically everyone on my campus that's staff or faculty has really influenced me in some way or form.
When I think about my professors at college, I think about so many different professors. I have a professor that networks me for internships. I have another professor who's just passionate about everything that she teaches, and when I can go over and I can ask her any question, she's always willing to help me, and just they're always willing to answer any question that I have, and it's just an amazing experience to meet all these people and know that later on in life, when I graduate, I could still come back to Keene and they'll still be here and just ready to help or have any questions answered. Growing up, I mean, the hardest part was just getting to college. That was probably the biggest obstacle. And then when I got to college, I didn't know how to manage my time. I didn't know how to manage my studies, the amount of friends that I have, the people that I'm going to meet, managing everything, and the financial issues with how to manage my money was just all it was hard to do. And freshman year, it was a big struggle for me to manage my time and everything. And there's a student support service at Keene State College. It's called the Aspire program. I believe there's a trio of them in surrounding colleges in New Hampshire, and they were very helpful. I went into the program getting tutors, getting scholarships through them for financial need, getting time management opportunities for them to help me manage my money, and now I have turned the whole thing around. Now I work for them as a receptionist, and I very closely work with everybody, and now I tutor students because I managed to pull off a 4.0 last year, and just I've turned my life around with the amount of people that have helped me, because I want to show them that I can succeed and that I deserve to be in college, because they have helped me to be where I am, and I've proved that their help didn't go unnoticed.
There's one instructor, her name's Judy Honsinger. She's a med tech, and she's in her late 50s, and you can just tell that she really loves the profession, and she's been an inspiration for me. She's so smart, and she just teaches the way that makes you want to learn and that kind of thing. Clinical laboratory science really interested me in the science aspect because I got to learn how the body functions and about all sorts of diseases and things. So I really get to learn the science part of it. And at the same time, I'm testing patient samples, sending results to the doctor, and helping people. So it's kind of like a double whammy. You get to help people and learn and study science.
So at Colby Sawyer, we had this thing called the Pathway Program, and it's basically every student is they're in this class, and it's not really related to your major in any way. And mine, for example, is philosophy, economy, and society. Yeah, I know it's a lot to say, and it sounds really boring, but you know, I kind of went in there with that attitude. I was kind of like, oh, this isn't really what I want to do. I don't know how I'm going to like this, but actually, no, it really opened my eyes to a lot of the things that go on in the world that I'm not really aware of. Like we talked about, how the economy in China can affect, the things we do here in the United States, and it just it was a different perspective, different time. It took me back a little bit just to look at the way things are done in other parts of the world, and it's something I really enjoyed.
The people at NCC, not just the students, but also the staff members, they're really nice, they're really friendly. And even though I graduate here from school, I'll be able to still be friends with them no matter what happens. So that's one good thing about it.
I've taken a lot of courses in college, from required classes to also just gen ed classes. I really like a lot of international relation classes within my political science because it really allows me to become very knowledgeable into different issues that occurred in the past or in the present. In a really young age, government and different conflict really impacted my life, especially being originally from Congo, born and raised in Congo, and the conflict that was occurring there was directly affected my family. So I always knew that this is the field that I wanted to enter after is international relation and conflict solving. So the classes that I've taken since I've been in college, from organization behavior to interperspective of world security, has really gotten to really in depth of both sides of the issue. So those classes, especially the international classes, where you get to analyze different issues from the Cold War into the Gulf War into the current Iraq War, Afghanistan issues, you get to really get into depth of the problems. Really are my favorite classes because it allows me to become knowledgeable of these issues and prepares me for what I do after I graduate from college.
At White Mountains Community College, I'm studying to be a nurse, and I knew that I would have to take a lot of science classes, and science hasn't always been my strong point, but going into my A&P class, my science teacher was very supportive, and she helped me every step of the way, and you shouldn't be afraid that going to college that they won't be there for you and that they won't help you out, because they're definitely there to back you up, and they're not trying to fail you, they're trying to make you succeed.
I know that at the Lakes Region Community College, all of the professors there were very helpful. It was really more of like a one-on-one setting because any question I had, any problem, I went right to them and they did everything they could to go above and beyond and just make sure that I fully understood everything and to work with me, and were very understanding no matter what. I guess it was a little different than high school because I didn't feel as comfortable with those teachers, and I guess I didn't really put as much effort into it, so I didn't really go to them for extra help, but these professors have made it so much easier, and I just feel comfortable knowing that I can go to them and have no problem at all doing so.
I would have to say the most influential couple of people in my life would have to be my mom and dad. Just watching them raise two kids on a very low budget really inspired me to go out there and make my own path for what I wanted to do in life, and it showed me that I had the opportunity to go out and go to college and better educate myself instead of just working a dead-end job or not moving up in the world. So through them I've been inspired to reach my educational goals into getting into college and looking into graduate school for my degree in student affairs and higher education. While I've attended Plymouth State University, I'd have to say the most influential people that I have met at the university would have to be Terry Potter and Debbie Cole, who work in the student union at the college. They've really helped me to achieve what I've become today. They really became like my mom and dad at the university. They always kept their eye out on me. They always check in on me every once in a while, just to see how things are going, how things are doing. And I've met them through the various activities that I've done on the college. Also, another individual person would have to be Dick Hage. Just the way he represents himself when meeting with him or talking with him. He just his emotion to care for the individual, to really feel you've made a connection with him, and he knows your name by heart. He knows what you're doing. He knows how he always checks in.